As the horns rise up, we begin a new day. One full of passion and positivity. It's in our choices of how we paint life. And as for me, I need color.
Hi, I'm Gall, and this is the I Need Color podcast. It's been a little while since our last episode, and a lot's changed. And for the new season, I want to start off with a life update, and we'll get into all that here in just a second, but the first season did not start off how I wanted it to. I wanted to start with a bang and put out at least 10 episodes in a season. And unfortunately, that got cut short. I was dealing with different things in my life, from depression and just having a really hard time navigating the waters of life. And that's okay. It's something that I've had to really focus on and put everything else on the back burner. And I'm glad I did, because now I'm a whole lot better for it. I did therapy last year in order to try to conquer some of my demons that I've had to deal with. And it started about last March when I started going down the road of therapy. And I think I didn't stop doing therapy until about October is when I felt I was really getting on that edge that I was ready to leap off and fly and be the me that I always knew I could be. So I am back. I'm better than ever, but a lot has changed. Starting with, I'm now full-time at my job at the university that I teach at, which is huge, and I couldn't be happier with my job. I get to really make a difference for the lives that I get to interact with. And the feedback that I get from that is the most rewarding part of my job. And again, from previous episodes, I've had to where I've told everyone to thank teachers, because you really don't understand the love that they put into what they're doing. And a lot of our teachers are, unfortunately, pinned against the wall with what they're allowed to do in their job, which is very heartbreaking. But they still give their love in everything that they do, as much as they're allowed to. So thank a teacher. They'll very much appreciate it. I think the teachers that have influenced me throughout my life at some point every day. Next update is I'm very happy and enjoying my beautiful married life with my wife, Gretchen. We actually went to Iceland for our honeymoon, and some of you that are watching or listening got to see some of those photos, and it was incredible. We spent 11 days in Iceland and had the adventure of a lifetime. I tried a lot of amazing food and some that were quite disgusting, like fermented shark. If somebody in Iceland tells you to try fermented shark because it's a delicacy, they are fucking lying to you. Don't do it. Unless you want to be adventurous one time, but it is not pleasant. My favorite thing that we had when we were there was what's called rye bread ice cream, and it's exactly how it sounds. It's ice cream with rye bread chunks in it, and it's the most delicious ice cream I've ever had in my life. And I cannot wait to go back and have it again. But the biggest thing that we did was I got to climb a glacier, like hike a glacier with my wife. And there was a lot of people that thought that we were crazy for deciding to go to Iceland for a honeymoon. Like, why would you leave somewhere like Ohio that is cold as shit during December and January to go to somewhere else that's cold as shit all the time? And you had to be there. The mountaintops, the waterfalls, the people, the culture, everything was beautiful, absolutely stunning. And when we got to the top of the plateau that we were on, it was just like a little thumbnail of the glacier. That was everything. And I actually broke down crying, because it was just the most awe-inspiring thing I think I've ever done in my life, adventuring wise. And yeah, it set a high bar for the next adventure that we go on. But I'm always excited to travel. As it says for my podcast name, I Need Color, and that adventure gave me a lot to be colorful about. Now, as we came back from that, we got to share some of our adventures and stories with family and friends, and I was prepping for the upcoming semester, and was having a blast with being prepared and being elevated and alive and feeling like myself again and just ready to conquer anything that came my way. Because throughout that fall semester, I was still having some issues personally with like my mental health, but I never let it affect my job. At least that I hope that my students didn't see. I always tried to bring my A game and bring the love and respect that they deserve, and manifest the love and respect that I deserve in the classroom. And with the success of my first full-time semester, I wanted to make this semester even better. So I spent a bunch of time when we came back from Iceland revamping my schedule and really trying to write down what my goals were for this upcoming year. And everybody talks about the new year, new me, but this year it really is a new me. I'm more motivated. I'm a little bit more at peace than I have been in the past, and I have a lot to thank for that. From my wife, my mom, friends, going to therapy last year, our Iceland trip, like that was liberating. Being able to go somewhere where you don't know anybody, but yet you feel like you are completely at home, is an amazingly beautiful experience. And I hope that those of you listening and watching get to go places in the world and experience that kind of love. When I came back, though, there was a different kind of update that I didn't expect. For the last couple years, since I was about 28, I've known that I've been dealing with chronic kidney disease. And it started where I found out from a fall that I had years back. I had headaches after that fall, and then we found out that I had high blood pressure. And so that high blood pressure, we got it checked out and realized I need to be on some medications. So that's what I've been doing over the last couple of years. But we also found out that my kidneys were damaged. And after we went and had a biopsy done, it found out that it started because I was 2 months premature as a baby. So here I am in my, right before my 30s, finding out that my kidneys are damaged. And needless to say, it scared the hell out of me. Rightfully so. I was at about 35 GFR, which is about 35%, which is not great, but it wasn't bad either. But I didn't really take care of myself after that. I wasn't in a good space at the end of my 20s. So I kept on kind of eating some bad food and drinking a little bit more than I should have. And over the last couple years since I've been with my wife Gretchen, we've tried to do a better job of having like better food in our systems in our house and just taking better care of ourselves and each other. And so I went from that 35 down to when I had a checkup about a year ago, I was at a 15. Or I was at a, sorry, not 15, it was like a 21 GFR. And then before we went on our Iceland trip, I found out that I was a 15 GFR, which is about 15% kidney activity left. And when we came back, I had my checkup that I was supposed to go on and got hit with the news that I'm at a 9 GFR. So it's declining, and I'm doing everything right. My diet is very strict. I'm eating a lot of vegetables and fruits that are good for the kidneys and good for what we're trying to do is lower what is called the creatinine level, and it's a byproduct of protein. Because a normal level for that is about a 1.9 or lower, and that might even be on the high scale, and I'm at a 6.8, which is why my kidneys are being damaged further. So I completely cut meat out of my diet altogether, along with most dairy. I have a few, like some cheese every once in a while because it's cheese. Of course, I'm gonna have it. But I'm very strict on myself. I have apples, grapes, and blueberries every day so that I'm getting the right kind of power foods for healthy kidneys and stuff that fights those levels to bring them down naturally. And so far, we're having a lot of success with it. However, there's not really a possibility to cure or get any of my function back. At least it's not probable. I'm not going to say it's not possible because I've heard other stories of people being able to get back some of their function. But I'm at a place where I'm at very much at peace with it. And those of you listening and those of you watching, I want you to understand it's not a death sentence by any means at all. And I'm very lucky that I have such a very loving and supportive spouse, and loving and supporting friends that have known about this for about a month now, that understand and encourage to help me really keep a good mindset with all of it. Because if I don't keep the good mindset with it, it's gonna manifest as that bad thing, and I can't really have that. The thing to understand about this is that I'm not on dialysis, and it's our goal to not go on dialysis. We're trying to go from my kidney to a healthy kidney, and we're trying to find somebody that's hopefully a living donor that matches my blood type. So getting on our list, the list at Ohio State, Cincinnati, Cleveland, wherever else we can get on, to try to find a donor is the best case scenario. And the great thing about that is that I'm a very healthy person, and because of my age, no pre-existing conditions, I don't smoke, I really don't drink, I'm a top candidate for receiving a kidney. And then after that, it's kind of going back to normal life. I can get back to training a little bit more often and maybe even a little bit harder. I can eat some of the foods that I have had to stay away from for the last couple years. In moderation, of course. I'm still going to be eating the same kind of way that I am now, because the better that I treat my new kidney, the longer I get to live. And I ain't going anywhere anytime fucking soon. I'm here to stay. Period. And I've got a lot of life and love to give still. If I had to paint a picture and a color that I would use for this time in my life, it's very much like night sky blue. It is, it's like I'm looking at the stars in front of me, realizing that I can reach out and touch them. I've got no doubt in my mind that we'll get a healthy kidney for me, and everything's going to be just fine. And what some of you that are listening or watching might not know is that my dad went through this. But Dad's was a different situation. He had a different form of kidney disease that caused swelling with his kidneys, and got to the point where if he didn't go and get it treated, he was going to be like drop dead in like 2 weeks when he found out. So I've known for a while though, and I've done a really good job of trying to keep myself in the right space. I've had to make a lot of life changes over the years. And like I've said before, I haven't always made the best choices, but I'll be damned if they weren't my own. And they've made me who I am now. And who I am now, I'm really fucking proud of. And I get to help people. And that's all I could ever ask for. From the last time you saw me, you can see that I'm down in weight. I went from 220 pounds down to 189. And I did so healthily, because with the type of food that I'm eating, I mean, that helped enough in dropping the weight. But then how much I walk at work while I'm teaching, like I'm doing like 5 miles a day just in walking around and teaching and throwing students and hitting pads to show what I want them to do. And it's just, I'm living a very good life. I'm very proud of where I am, and I'm very proud of where I'm going. And I'm very proud to start this season of the podcast with this episode. You know, in the beginning of every episode, you hear the theme. And during that theme, and that's why I've been posting on social media so much last night, with the different points of what is said in that theme. As the horns rise up, we begin a new day, one full of passion and positivity. It's in our choices of how we paint life. And as for me, I need color. The horns are rising up. And it is a brand new day for this podcast, for those of you listening and watching. No matter what you are going through in life, you decide whether it's passion or positivity that drives each and every new day. Don't let it go to the other side of that, which is the negative. It's in our choices of how we paint life. I'm dealing with a lot of choices right now, and I'm sure you are too. But you decide how you paint what your life is going to look like. Your response to action is everything. And that's what shows your character. And at the end of every day, we all need color. So decide what color you want to paint your canvas and let it shine. Welcome to the new season of I Need Color. We're back. We're better than ever. Like, subscribe. If you want to be on the podcast, reach out. I'll take anyone. Because I want to talk to everyone that needs a little bit more color in their life, or that wants to share what their palette looks like. See you next week.